Diddy was hit with another lawsuit. Diddy's assistant, Philip Pines, who I'm sure most of you have heard about by now because he had an explosive interview last night on the Fall of Diddy documentary, filed a lawsuit against Diddy and Diddy's ex-chief of staff, Kristina Khorram, about a month ago. After I just did a video on this man detailing that he was a grand jury witness and how he has tons of evidence of these wild freak-off parties, I thought it was only right that we deep dive his lawsuit right now. Philip Pine's formal duties were to provide service to Diddy, which included but were not limited to getting him food, ensuring that food was available to Diddy, picking up his clothing, laying out his clothing, running errands, and generally being available for Diddy at his call. He said that Diddy had him running his personal errands, including but not limited to providing meals after hours, cleaning up hotel rooms occupied by Diddy after nights of freak-offs with different partners, or substance binging. He had to hide Diddy's personal activities from certain family members. He had to get Diddy substances. He also had to carry or transport items that belonged to Diddy and book hotel rooms under his own name for Diddy without his authorization. His supervisors was Diddy and Kristina Khorram, but due to the constant unreasonable demands and expectations and forced tests of loyalty, harassment, and more, the plaintiff was terminated on or about December 29th of 2021. During his employment, he was instructed by Diddy on multiple occasions to ensure his personal bedroom or various hotel rooms were set up with red lights, ice buckets, alcohol, substances, honey packs, baby oil, Astroglide, towels, more substances, and power banger machines. These nights were called Wild King nights. Guys, this man has so many receipts. He has multiple text messages from Kristina Khorram, like this one saying Wild King Hotel night tonight, and text messages asking him to bring so many different things and also about cleaning up these freak-off parties. And he also has multiple voice memos that he played in his interview last night of Diddy asking him for different things for these parties. He said that these Wild King nights are where Diddy and female guests and or other guests participate in a night of physical relations, substances, and alcohol. Then the plaintiff and others are ordered to set up the room, and then it's the plaintiff's responsibility to clean up the room to avoid knowing that the Wild King night even occurred. These Wild King nights would happen at times without notice and other times are planned. He was expected to be on call for these Wild King nights, which could last for a night or for days. He said on several occasions he would receive a request to bring extra baby oil, Astroglide, substances, toys, and more. He was prohibited from leaving these items in the hallway, and he would have to wait until he was let in, unwillingly exposing himself to the events in the room, and then was told to leave the items and then he could leave. At the conclusion of the Wild King nights, it was his responsibility to clean the room or the hotel room, and was instructed to remove any evidence that these nights ever happened. He would remove any evidence of substances, toys, bodily stains like blood and urine, fluids from the sheets, furnitures, and pack away all the items used during these Wild King nights. It was also his responsibility to ensure that no one would talk about the Wild King nights. As an example, if a Wild King night happened in a hotel, he would clean up the hotel room and then leave the hotel crew a very large tip to avoid house cleaning from reporting anything that would be later billed. He was also instructed that he had to scrub Diddy's personal devices, including but not limited to personal phones, laptops, tablets for any compromising videos. To accomplish this task, he would have to again unwillingly see the video and then erase it. He was instructed that if any of Diddy's family saw the videos on either a personal device or a cloud-based storage, that he would be terminated with negative comments so that he could never work in the entertainment industry again. He said that he was also allegedly threatened with other repercussions, and he saw Diddy's violence firsthand. He alleged that at a time in Miami, Diddy became so upset at a guest and he became violent and he kicked the guest in the butt and the stomach. Kristina Khorram asked him what happened, and the plaintiff told her what happened and that he was upset about it, and allegedly Kristina Khorram instructed him to never speak about it, that there are repercussions that will happen if he does. He was allegedly made aware that nice gifts and a dinner were given to the guest to make up for the situation that had happened. He says that his duties were not localized to the city of Los Angeles. As a part of his duties, he would have to travel with Diddy to various locations in the United States and other countries to perform his duties as expected. He said at all of these different locations, it was unknown to him and without his authorizations that hotel rooms were being booked and paid for using his name. He alleged that when he was traveling with Diddy, he was instructed that he was in charge of the MVP bag, which was a black Gucci bag, and the bag was placed in a safe with a password to make it difficult for customs to identify. During both domestic and international travel, he claims that he had to ensure that substances were on the personal jet or charter for Diddy. And he said the bag that he was carrying would contain these illegal substances and various toys. And he was told that he was in charge of the bag and to keep it with him 24/7. He claims that during his employment, he was instructed to show his loyalty to Diddy. If he refused, he was told that he would be terminated and he would be blackballed from the industry with other repercussions. During one of these particular loyalty tests, Diddy had 2 female guests present and Diddy instructed him to prove his loyalty to the king. Diddy allegedly began rubbing his shoulders and told him to take a shot. Diddy then allegedly pushed him over to one of the female guests and informed him to have physical relationships with her. Following Diddy's instructions, he undid his pants and exposed himself to Diddy and the female guests, who then put protection on him, and then they began to have physical relations. He said that he was very uncomfortable and he was unsure what to do, but followed Diddy's instructions out of fear that he would be fired or blackballed. He said his loyalty would often be tested. He said one night he was dismissed before midnight after starting the day at 9 a.m. He made it home and then received a call from Diddy telling him to come back to the house because he needed his help. He did as he was instructed and came back to Diddy's residence upon arrival and went directly to Diddy's room where Diddy was there with a guest. Diddy instructed him to get his remote and give it to him. He was upset with this treatment but remained silent as there was a guest and retrieved Diddy's remote and gave it to him. Diddy told the guest, "See, he is loyal and now he can go home." He said that he was treated like an animal playing fetch by Diddy in order to prove his loyalty. Not only did he constantly have to prove his loyalty to Diddy, but he was also instructed to never eat in front of Diddy or he will be punished. During his employment, he claims that Diddy was very volatile. He said that Diddy would require him to come to his room while he was fully undressed and do certain things which Diddy expected him to do, like getting him coffee, water, juice, and food. He said on several occasions he would have to bring Diddy his food, and if the food was not to his liking, Diddy would say it's not godly enough for him. And he said that he would have to bring it back down and inform the chef and bring it back up at least 3 to 4 times. At times, Diddy would toss food at him and tell him to tell the chef the food has to be prepared to his liking. This lawsuit is absolutely wild, but I'm going to go ahead and add the whole thing over on my Patreon at KadishaLynn so you guys can read through the whole thing if you'd like to do that. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.